Hello students, today we will talk about oogenesis. Oogenesis is what? It is the formation of egg, which is the female reproductive cell. Some of the cells of the germinal epithelium, they are considered as the oogonium. Mitosis occurs and after that differentiation occurs and they become primary oocyte. Primary oocyte undergoes meiosis first, and here the division is restored at the stage of prophase first, diplotin stage. These all events they are occurring in the fetus ovary. After that, the granulosa cells they gather around the primary oocyte and become primary follicle. Now, primary follicle it converted into secondary follicle. How? By the deposition, like it surrounds with the more granulosa cells and become secondary follicle, or you can say it gets more developed by the surrounding of the granulosa cells. This secondary follicle it gets developed into tertiary follicle, which is more developed one, and it is characterized by the appearance of a fluid filled cavity that is called as antrum. So how you can recognize tertiary follicle? Actually the fluid filled cavity antrum, it is seen in the tertiary follicle. Along with this feature you can say here that theca, it is categorized into theca interna and theca externa. Ovulation is a process where the secondary oocyte it is released, where this secondary oocyte is formed at this level. Here the meiosis first it completes actually in the tertiary follicle. The meiosis one it completes resulted in the secondary oocyte and polar body. The function of polar body is still unknown. It actually dies, degenerated. Now, the release of ovum, which is called as ovulation, it is at this stage, secondary oocyte. And when meiosis second occurs at the time of fertilization. At the time of fertilization, meiosis second occurs resulted in the formation of ooted and second polar body. So this is the oogenesis. This actually fuses with the sperm to got zygote. So let us see the discussion in points now. Oogenesis, it starts with a germ cell called oogonium, but this cell undergoes mitosis to increase in number. So as I have told you that oogonium, it undergoes mitosis, and after that the differentiation occurs to become primary oocyte. So the cells starting meiosis is called as primary oocyte, which are being differentiated from here. This cell will begin the first meiotic division but be arrested in its progress in the first prophase stage. At the time of birth, all future eggs are in the prophase stage. At adolescence, anterior pituitary hormones cause the development of a number of follicles of an ovary. This resulted in the primary oocyte finishing the first meiotic division. This development is what? Where the more granulosa cells they surrounds the follicle, and now the follicle is secondary, and after that tertiary, where the fluid filled cavity antrum you can see along with the theca externa and theca interna. So second number of follicle called as secondary follicle, and actually the first meiotic division it completes at this stage in the tertiary follicle. The cell divides unequally with most of the cellular material and organelles going to one cell called secondary oocyte. The release of ovum, it is at this stage, and only one set of chromosomes and a small amount of cytoplasm going to the other cells. This second cell it is called as a polar body and usually dies. At ovulation, this secondary oocyte will be released and travel toward the uterus through the oviduct. If the secondary oocyte it fertilizes, the cell continues through the meiosis second, completing meiosis, producing a second polar body and a fertilized egg containing all 46 chromosomes of a human being, half of them coming from the sperm. Here we should know 2 points. First, the gametes, either male or female, they are haploid. Why they are haploid? Just to restore the normal chromosome number in the zygote, right? And this is what the representation which we have discussed. Now, this is the description of oogenesis. We will discuss more in the upcoming videos of ours. You can have live sessions with me. You can clear your doubts. You can post your requirements and have a very good day.